Welcome to the suburbs with Andy and Greg.
I don't know if you remember when we were at WMG, I was tooling through customer service one day and I saw the stack of 8 DAT tapes. And I said, wow, this is a really cool collection. And I was thinking, gosh, this looks like it's something familiar. And I went home and looked. I had this Time Life set of 8 CDs, collection of the 70s or something like that. And I went back and brought a couple of the CDs back to work and I looked at them and I compared them to the DATs. I said, this is this Time Life stuff. It was a bootlegger that had just made DATs of the CDs. We reached out, I think, maybe to the FBI, and they told us they'd been trying to get this guy, and they told us to go ahead and process the order. So it was 2 quads, and they did like 500 sets. When the guy came to pick them up, it was literally the swarm. I mean, the guys like jumped out of vans and scooped this guy up, and somehow Jeff was connected to the guy enough where he called him like from jail, say, you ruined my life,
So this guy, back up for a second.
It's all your fault.
Yeah. Here's my whole conundrum with this. Okay, you're going to bait the people into coming and picking up discs. Why go through the whole process of actually wasting materials and money on manufacturing? I guess it's because you have to do it.
You have to deliver the goods. It has to be legitimately manufactured and delivered. If we got paid, I have no idea.
You're working for the government at that point.
Here, public service.
Oh,
202.
Man. No kidding. That's a code brown. My brother fell prey. They used to advertise on TV these collection of hits for different artists, and sometimes it was really the artist, and sometimes it was somebody posing as the artist.
They call it re-recorded, or sounds like the original artist.
He didn't catch that part.
In the fine print, asterisk.
Right.
Not really.
Yes.
B.J. Thomas.
Right. Or in this case, ABBA.
Oh.
I'll never forget the title. It was Dancing Queen. He received it and played it and realized immediately I just was taken. And I just thought, you were taken a couple of different ways. What compelled you to get an ABBA greatest hits is my first question. I found a cassette tape of his where he was singing to Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle. His voice hadn't changed yet. So it was, fly like an eagle.
Hits of the unchanged voice.
I kept and held it against him when I needed things.
Hey, dude.
Hey, remember this? Click. Fly like an eagle. I need $10.
You sing like a girl.
You do sing like a girl.
You don't run like a girl. You sing like a girl.
I saw Steve Miller open for the Eagles this week. When they announced that, I thought of my brother. I hope they play it, and I know he's going to sound different.
This doesn't sound like my brother at all. Oh, this is how it's supposed to go. I like this much better. So we were talking about the lodge. Reminds me of a story when, I think it was 4th of July weekend, and we had done a big remodeling project, and the silent partner of the lodge was going to come up and see the studio to see the fruits of our labor of all this remodeling. We'd done major remodeling, and the owner had also remodeled his home and had a room ready for his partner to come up and stay. And now we got to spend 4th of July weekend at work because we're going to be hanging out with the boss. We had that in the back of our head. And so we were scrambling to get everything ready to go. We got word that Jack wasn't coming. Jack flies internationally all the time. He just knows the drill. He knows what time he can get to the airport, to get to the gate, to get on the plane. I don't have to wait for nobody at all. And so he got to the airport in Miami at what he thought was enough time. And it was, flight closed. And he's like, don't you know who I am?
You're the guy on the other side of the closed door.
You're the guy not flying to Indianapolis.
We don't know Jack.
So instead of him saying, okay, well, I'll just catch the next flight, he's just like, F it. I ain't coming. Literally months of preparation. I mean, it had to get done anyway, but, this big build up to the big 4th of July.
They were launching the fireworks for him.
That's right.
Indy was all set up.
So I guess the good news is I didn't have to spend the weekend.
I would have said, rock on.
Hanging out with the boss.
That's like finding out that you've got a substitute teacher on a day with a big test.
Right, yeah. Oh, we get to watch a movie. Yes. Jennifer grew up in a town of probably 250. No stop light, maybe a stop sign, handful of stores. a bar, a grocery store.
Do you know the name of the bar?
The Hill.
The Hill. So my grandparents had same thing. Stop sign, no stoplights. And the bar was called the Dewdrop Inn.
Please do. Jennifer says there were more dogs than people in her hometown. So one day she got a knife out to cut some bread, and she said, hand me the serrated knife. I said, what? Yeah, the serrated knife. I mean, serrated knife? Well, yeah, serrated knife. I said, it's serrated knife. It's like, whatever, you know. She says, well, that's what we call it. I say, well, it's serrated. And she said, let me call my sister. So she calls her sister, Vicky, up and says, just randomly, hey, Vicky, what's that knife you use to cut bread? Oh, you mean serrated knife?
Serrated knife.
Okay, thanks, bye. Hung up. See?
Just out of nowhere, non sequitur
It
phone
was
call.
totally like, yeah, you mean serrated knife?
Okay, click.
Absolutely.
Checks in the mail. Did you have to have Siri show her that it's really not serrated?
Do you have a word that you had trouble pronouncing?
I do. I lived my whole life until COVID. So Keely and I had been watching Man in the High Tower. Did you ever see that one?
I did not.
Your Highness is what they would say. I'm writing about it. I was journaling, and I'm writing Your Highness. And so it comes up like I didn't spell it right. And I'm like, okay. So then I try again. And I'm like, no, I don't even know what this word is. And I'm like, well, okay, so how do you write Your Highness? And so I asked Siri, and Siri's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I stumped Siri.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You broke Siri.
And so then I'm typing in royalty, I'm like trying to get.
Trick your way in.
Yeah.
Through the back door.
Yes. And I found out that it was 2 words, Your Highness. I thought it was all one word.
Well, that just makes you sound stupid.
It does make me sound stupid. It makes me sound like a total idiot. Keely was at work, and I said, oh, my God, all this time.
Thought it was one word.
And she just like laughed out loud, like tears in her eyes. I can't wait to tell everybody how stupid you are.
I'm going to start a blog, a website, stupidgreg.com. Drag out the shredded knife and dub thee Your Highness. So a friend of mine has a very nice church organ in his house. It's not pipes, but it's digital. Nice sound system. It's a hobby of his.
Does he play Funeral for a Friend?
He might. He's way into church organ playing, and he's part of the Organists Guild.
There's a guild?
There's a guild of church organists. Of course there is.
Are they all gilded?
By Your Highness. So he had a fairly well-known organist come to his house to give a concert. And he invited a lot of his friends, and he had some snacks and cocktails and wine, beer, etc. And so it was time to go to the concert, and Jennifer's sort of like realizing, this is not her cup of tea.
She didn't hang with that crowd?
No, nor do I. But we were invited, and we felt...
Well, wait a minute. You've got a gig that kind of puts you there.
It does. So it's time for the concert. So we all sit down, and Jennifer's sort of quizzing the host or the host's wife. How long is this going to last?
You are setting yourself up to just make it feel longer when you ask that question. How long is this going to last? They haven't even played a note yet. And she's going, how long is this going to last?
They said, about an hour.
Do you mean 60 minutes?
So she's got it in her head 1 hour. The organist starts speaking, and then he plays a song related to the story he just told. That's the pattern. And the guy is awesome. I mean, unbelievable player.
Even to Jennifer? She's like, what kind of chicken do I want for dinner?
And so we hit the 60-minute mark.
He's not even showing signs of an encore at that point.
She's up and gone to the bar.
I'd even mow their grass if I could leave right now. Could I mow your yard?
Where are you going? They said it's an hour, and it's been an hour.
I'm calling it.
At the end of the day, if you read the tea leaves properly, it was 60 minutes of music, but an equal amount of storytelling. So
oh, my gosh. So it's 2 hours.
It was about 2 hours.
Oh, wow. So she's at the bar by herself.
She kept peeking her head around the corner, drinking wine.
She's on bottle number 2.
Others had wished they had slipped away as well at the 60-minute mark.
They're giving him the light in the back of the room.
Give him the shepherd's hook out. So I know you've been in counseling over your sister. How's that going?
You understand logically not to engage, and you understand who they are. What I was having a challenge with was that things like that would loop in my mind. So I'm
sure.
I'm down here engaged with you right now, so there's no other space for that to loop. I'm busy, I'm focused and everything. I don't work in an office setting anymore, and I'm pretty much solo at work. And so it gives you plenty of time for all of a sudden that to loop. That's the part that I said, okay, this isn't good. At the time, I couldn't pick the times when it would loop and when it didn't loop.
Yeah, it just pops in your head and then starts eating at you again. And how do you turn that one off?
Right. So you have to learn to turn it off. You have to learn to dismiss it. What I'm understanding now is that when your body starts looping like that, it creates chemicals and produces hormones from the rush of that emotion. It's like a nicotine addiction.
Interesting.
You know that smoking is bad for you and you want to quit. You say, okay, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. And then your body goes, oh man, just one more. Quit tomorrow.
Time for a cigarette.
You were good all day.
You deserve a smoke.
Reward yourself with a nice, long, cool menthol smoke. So breaking that cycle of looping, the thing about the loop is you can't predict when it's going to happen. It just starts happening.
Creeps into your mind.
Creeps into your mind.
Yep.
I'm working back to the value of things. And so sometimes it's during intimacy.
Oh, now I see where this is going.
Then all of a sudden, you've got this partnership with your partner, and then you've got a partnership with
The devil.
Well, that too. Wow. Okay, that could be fun. I never thought of that. Are you wearing a mask during that, or?
See, met your sister.
Oh, I see. No, it's yeah, right. That. And so that happens, and I'm like, dude, we had this agreement. We've had a relationship for 62 years where I'm the idea guy, and you're the action guy, and we collaborate very well together. And right now you're sitting this out, and that's not helpful for me. Mm-hmm. And so the first time that happens, when not all the equipment works, you're able to like call an audible, shift a little bit, and things end up being pretty good anyway. And then you talk about it, you're like, okay, what happened? And your spouse is like, was it me? No, it's not you. But then all of a sudden they're looping like, I think it was me. I'm like going, trust me, it wasn't you. Let's take two. Okay, so it wasn't me. No, it wasn't you. I promise it wasn't you. Everything seems to be okay, and then it's not okay, and then it's okay, then it's kind of okay, then it's not okay, and then he's decided to just like sit on the nightstand and smoke while I'm treading water.
A menthol cigarette.
Right. Camel, no filter. I got to do something about this.
Have you considered adult baby play?
I have an annual physical that's coming up, but I don't want to wait.
Tomorrow is too long to wait.
Right. I call my doctor. We're on first name basis. So I say, Joe, hey man, this is happening. So I explain the whole thing to him, and he's like, oh, okay. So do you just want something to take the edge off?
No, you want something to put the edge on.
No, I drive to Michigan.
I got that covered.
I definitely don't need anything to take the edge off. What I really need is something to be a power hitter again. If you could send over a truck of cordwood, that would be helpful. And he goes, oh, I can do that. He writes a script. I'm going to say the name of the pharmacy because I think they're bleeping bleep holes for the decision to charge what they charge. You hear all these conspiracy theories about big pharma.
Right.
And so Viagra is one of those things that, the patent expired on it.
Right.
So you can get it generic.
Right. Open market.
I call on the first day that it's available because I'm like...
You're sitting out front of their store.
Yeah, when it opens.
Shaking the door. Is this thing open?
So I had the conversation with him during business hours, and I'm like, before the pharmacy closes, I'm going to be there. It's kind of exciting. It's like going on a date with somebody you haven't met before.
Say hello to can't say my little friend. Say hello to my big friend.
My big friend. So I call the pharmacy to make sure that they've got the script. And they say, we know who you are, but we got nothing for you.
This is an emergency.
Hey, she's off 3 days this week. I got a 3-day window.
Clock's ticking.
And you're just throwing a rock at the window right now. So I'm like, and they close at 7. It's date night and ready, set, go. And I look at her and I go, they got nothing. And she's like, that's okay. She is so cool. And maybe it's because I talk about it. You know, maybe she wouldn't be cool if she was sitting there going, I know it's me. It's got to be me. And I'm blaming, like my sister, it is you.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Yes, the button stuck because I was pushing it.
Emphasis emoji.
Fast forward to the next day, and I call. Yeah, we got nothing for you. I'm like, what?
Day 2.
I call Joe, and I go, hey, you were supposed to call in the script. It's the woman at the desk.
You mean the receptionist?
Receptionist.
Or could it be the custodian? So the custodian answers the phone and says, what's your problem, son? Where do I start?
Oh, my God. She goes, yeah, he called it in on that day at such and such a time, and they received it. And I said, what? Okay. Again, they're closing at 7.
You're not starting your phone tree at 6 p.m., are you? You should be on the phone first thing in the morning.
No, I was not doing it then. So come Friday, which is the last...
Day 3.
Yeah, day 3.
You got that girl in the ring walking around holding up signs. Ding, 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 ding.
So she says, are we going to have a little treat on the side too? I'm like, yeah, I hope so. The receptionist says, talk to a human. Don't do the voicemail thing with CVS. So I go in. I'm here for my hard-on pills. You can't say.
Hey, what's your problem, son?
Viagra, aisle 2, please. Viagra, aisle 2.
So the guy, he was actually pretty cool. He goes, what's your name? I tell him. Date of birth? I tell him. He goes, we don't have a prescription for you. And I go, what? And he goes, well, it's on hold. And I go, it's on hold.
I'm on hold.
Yeah, I am on hold. I'm tired of being on hold. But the on hold music is not to my liking.
Not a song I like.
No, it's not.
It's the Death March.
It is. That's good. That's well played. So he goes, you want to step around the corner?
We got a guy back here.
He'll take care
Open
of you.
your coat. What do you need?
Ignore the Scoutmaster outfit. I go around the corner and he said, these are on hold. Have you had one of these prescriptions filled before? I go, no, I haven't. And he goes, okay. The doctor wrote you a prescription for a 30-day fill.
I need 1 day.
Right. That would be great. And I always, jokingly throughout the 33 years say that I want to try it once just to see how far out of the park I can knock it.
And this moment, you're still thinking, I just want to try it once. Still thinking.
Right. Right. So in this prescription, he gave you 30 days. And I go, okay. And that's $570. I go, what?
Talking about going soft.
Yeah. All of a sudden, there's an erection price.
Extortion.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is a generic. And he goes, yeah.
Thank God.
I said, wow. So, literally, there is a value to performance-enhancing drugs.
Gotta think about this. It's like Elaine and her sponges. Are you sponge worthy?
Right.
You check your credentials.
Right. That's what it's like. And it came out to like $18 per piece of wood.
Money well spent.
Hell yes. And he goes, I can fill as many of this prescription as you want. And I said,
I got $18. That's all I got. And some lint.
a couple of pennies.
A stick of gum.
This is a temporary situation. So God forbid I need 30. So all I need to do is get on the other side of these voices in my head and I'll be fine again. He goes, understood. Okay. So, and at the same time, we both go, how about 10?
Get me through the weekend.
Right. 3 days and 2 of them are gone.
Round 3.
Right. The only thing that's left for me is like waking her up in the morning. That I can do.
The window's closing.
She works 4:30 p.m. till 2:30 a.m. Like there's this big chunk of time where I got nothing. I'm asleep. We both agreed that 10 would be a good price. I want to take it on my way home. Can I take one right now?
I'm ready.
I was ready 2 days before.
Look out, people.
Yeah.
Stand back.
That's right. I can tell you it works.
Happy ending. Hi, this is Andy. If you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe. Remember, laughter's contagious. Help us spread it by telling a friend.